Well, today I am going to do this winter scene. It's a photograph I came across from the Fens. There's a lady, I think it's a Finland lady or something, she's a photographer, and look at these amazing pictures. But there's a lot of challenges here. You've got this gorgeous sunrise there, I think it is. It's got to be early in the morning with the frost and the river. But look at the shapes of these lovely trees, these willows. This sort of cut down one here, fallen over one, but the young branches coming up here. But look at the challenge you've got. You've got some person there walking along a little track. There's a lot going on there. So what I've done is toned my canvas, my canvas board. This is a 10 by 12. So I'm going to just map it out and see what we can make of this. So obviously I'm going to start with my darks, and I've got some ultramarine. Well, I'll just show you my palette. I've got titanium white, yellow ochre, cadmium yellow, Payne's grey there, ultramarine, sap green, a little bit of phthalo green in there. I use that very sparingly. Sienna, where's that umber? No, that's umber, burnt umber, roll sienna there. And then we've got cadmium orange, cadmium red, cadmium orange, cadmium red, and crimson alizarin. So I'm just going to make a very thin mapping out of my scene. Just sketching with your paint. I'm not going to draw it in, thing like that. Got my horizon is just about along here, and we've got our river coming in here, but on the I've got our bank, and got a sort of tree line along here. In the distance, you could sort of just block in roughly what I'm doing. And then our main, we've got a nice willow tree here. A lovely willow. This is all a bank all along here. So and then in here we've got another one. Standing out there. I've got one that's lying down. It's obviously fallen there. Get a little bit of a angle on that. So I'm just using umber here with some ultramarine just to map in my picture. Oh yes, we've got some this side. We've got one here. Another one slightly behind it there. one further down there. Let's get some darker. I've just got some odorless mineral spirit here. As my medium or my thinner. I will use some linseed necessary if I need to help the paint. Oh, I've got some liquid as well. Yes, that helps your paint come off your brush and speeds up the drying as well. I've got the reflection coming in there. So I've got to get these values right. So I think that's pretty much the layout anyway. But it's a really frosty sort of morning, definitely there. And then we've got this amazing sky as well. So let's try and do that. And we've got a lot of bank here actually. So let's lay that in now. Payne's grey in here, get it a little darker there. Got some new brushes here. This is Dollar Ronin. This is a filbert, size 4 filbert, Georgian bristle brush. Very nice. Thought about time I had a few replacements. They do wear, actually. So you have to replace them as required, as necessary. So I'm working from the sort of general to the particular, so I'm just trying to see now, step up some darker areas. So let's get some of this umber and the Payne's grey. A little bit of ultramarine as well. So I get them there, paint them together a little bit to give me some of my darks along that edge there. It goes right up here. Just usual technique of squinting your eyes and see if where the real darks are. I think we'll carve out the shape of that tree a little bit better as we go. It needs to be a lot darker here. but the usual thing of aerial perspective, as things go into the distance, they tend to get bluer and not so vivid in colour, in chroma and intensity. That needs to be a lot darker in there. I've got to lie. Let's just put some tone in here. I'll use a fine, well, this is fairly thin paint. Well, it's quite thin actually, because I want to lay over some fine work over here. So I don't want a lot of paint there, otherwise it won't come off of my brush very easily. This is the principle of fat over lean. Got lean, very thin paint is my initial layer, and then towards the final layers, obviously fatter, thicker paint. To give some suggestion of the contours of these, of this little river bed here, on the edge here. That's right, we've got some shadows out here. This pathway here. I toned the canvas with some sienna and a little bit of ultramarine and umber, but it just sort of, and then I took a tissue to it and wiped it off. It's just a little bit lighter than I thought, but as it's going to be a larger snow scene, it's not an issue really. Not too bothered. Want a soft edge along there. Right, now let's see, where do we go from here? I think we've got to get in our white, no question about that. We've got to lay some down, but we don't want to make the mistake of thinking it's all white. It's going to be a off-white. Snow is very rarely totally white. Has a bluey hint to it actually. So again, I've got my titanium white here, a little Payne's grey there, a little ultramarine, give me just a little bluey colour to it. This I'll save my brightest whites towards the end, of course. We'll do that. That's the way to do it. Got to keep places for your lightest lights and your darkest darks. Don't dive in with them immediately. I can see I need to get darks along here more, along there. Let's just get some colour in here. All this sort of off-white. Some blue. And we want a good contrast with that tree line there. So I'll try and get some there, look. Put light against dark. It will emphasize that tree line there, and also out here as well. So we can get straight in. And this is a number 4 filbert. Bristle brush. It's part of the Daroni's Georgian range, this one, I think it's called. There we go. I say we'll carve out the tree shape a little bit better as we go. For instance, here, that's a bit better. That trunk was not quite the shape I want. Putting little short dabs of colour down. Rather than too much blend in, I want to keep it fairly painterly. I like the texture of the paint. It's good to see that. I like that anyway. We've all got our own preferences. That's the point about this art. It's no right or wrong. It's just you paint how you want it. Just paint for yourself, and if others like it, that's fine. It's nice when people appreciate your work. If any of you enjoy this, please leave a comment or any thoughts you have on it. I'd be very pleased to hear that. Right, how's that coming? And let's get this in then. I say it is all frosty morning. I'm going to put some people out here walking shortly. Yes, I think it's coming together there. bank here. Quite a, and we've got to get this the water in as well. There's bright yellowy colour along here, which will do because it'll be reflecting the sky. Let's put a bit of yellowy orange in there. Got some cadmium yellow there, a little orange here. So I'm going to paint a bit together here. And see what we can do there. A little bit more, a little red perhaps. Step it up. A bit more orange. Yeah. Yeah, so I'll come here and I'll put some shadow in as well. Later, a little bit sort of yellowy transitions from the brighter orange from the sky. You'll see when I put it in. I keep this a little bit yellower and whiter here. Get some yes, this is just fine. I don't want too much texture here, so I better make that smoothish. Little horizontal strokes. As it comes up here into the bank. So let's leave that for the moment. But I think we can try and give some more highlights, brighter, cleaner white in places. Here. Nice banks of snow here. So it goes down to the river there. And this track as well, we've got to try and suggest track there. Some frosty bits, we'll get that in as we go. And again, I can see now, squinting my eyes, you see the darker bits, and we've got to emphasize the light bits as well. These tufts of grass here, and smooth out in the distance there. Right. standing back a little bit. I've got to get some track coming down it as well, but that's for later. Just put some darker elements in. This is a little somebody's cycle track there. Got some titanium there and a bit of Payne's grey. So I want to give an edge here to this path. Something there and a little darker here. Let's get some what's always got to have contrasts. So a little darker here. You can see that here. And also I can see I need much darker in these places. And let's bring that bank in more. Some Payne's grey, a little bit of ultramarine as well. Perhaps we can. Yes, I need to make a little bit darker in places, so I'm using a bit of umber. A little bit of my umber there. You see the umber there? Mixing it here with my Payne's grey. We can give a bit of colour there. Of course, I am painting from this photo, and remember what happens with photos, of course. They make your darks darker and your lights lighter, so the photograph doesn't always tell the story accurately anyway. So be aware of that, and I'm trying to adjust accordingly. I can see this bank needs more dark to give it some contour. Try to get a little higher here with my darks. So we've got perspective, linear perspective. So our eyes taken to the horizon, and I need to have a lot darker in here, and a few, this tree here, and I've got one lying down as well, haven't I? Going to have to deal with that with a finer brush as we go. Right. Yeah, I think we can still go much darker in here. Let's get some umber. A bit of titanium. Give me some more contour here. Or shadow there, reflection. As I say, we've got that bike track, a little through the frost. Right, and then now perhaps I should go and get in my sky. As I said, it is quite a feature of this, so let's see what I can do. I've got some titanium white here, mixing in here. And I'm going to put a little bit of ultramarine there. It's a winter sky. Obviously, it's not a bright, warm sky, but it's a bit too dark. So that could actually do with some of my cloud area. There's a bank of cloud here, so we can do that in various parts up here. And in the distance we've got cloud forms which are smaller in shape because of the perspective. So we just do something like that. Right, now let's get in with our real star of the show, is this sunrise here. So I think I should start. Let's make sure, where is my medium? I've got it here somewhere. Oh, here it is on my desk. I want to put some liquid, which will help it dry, and some linseed as well, because I'm going to need, you can see my little pot here, I've got linseed oil in this one, and some liquid original in here. Can you see this one here? So I'll have to find a space for that. Yes, that'll do it. And try if we can mix up some of that golden orangey colour. I think we should start with cleaning off the brush a little bit, so I get the worst off there. And then get some linseed. Now I think I need odorless spirit here. Clean my brush a bit better. I do want a nice orangey colour. So let's get a bit of orange going. Get my, see here. So I'm going to get a little bit of liquid, a little bit of carbon orange here. Can you see that? Carbon orange. I think we're going to have a little bit of cadmium yellow. See, I've got to try and get this right. Let's put a bit more cadmium in there. Yes, along the horizon it's a little yellower, a little brighter. So we can go with that, I think. And elements of that here as well. I'll get sort of more orangey here as we come up, a little redder. But I need to get some colour in here. That's it, I think. And fairly yellow out here in this part of the sky. Right. Now, let's think. Comes up here. Now we need to go much more orange. You can see here, got my cadmium orange there. I've got a little puddle here. I'm going to do a little cad red too. Let's see if I can up it a little bit there. A little. I think so. Yes, and comes bluer and purpler. We'll do some blending shortly. Slight hint here. Got some orange there. Let's get some bit of liquid going on here so we can get it off of the brush a little better. So these willow trees, I'll be painting over those shortly, so I'm not going to worry too much at the moment. But I've got to keep it thin so I can get the willow, the branches coming off a little bit. And then we need to get, I think we should get some white in here now. Let's cool it off a little bit here. I think we've got to do that so we get a nice transition as it comes up here. A little white as well. Yes, I think we can soften some of these edges now. Got a little bit of orange still. little bit of yellow out here as well. I want to keep a little bit of a transition there. Nice orange and a little yellower right down. Yes, we need something up here. Then we can go much paler here. Just getting a little transition here. It's brighter. Just do a little bit of colour in here, because I'm going to paint over that in a while. Put those branches in. But I think I need to get a little bluer down here. Well, it's usually bluer at the top, actually. The top of the sky, but then it transitions to a paler blue down here. So I'm going to smooth that in. I'm just looking now, it comes down, but I want a sort of orangey yellow in the horizon there. So let's just soften these things, these edges a little bit. Right, let's step back a bit. I'm looking through my camera now. Try and see what you people are saying. Or what I've got to do though, I need to suggest sort of lines, perspective to the horizon here, but got little bits of cloud still. Tiny and smaller in the distance, but I want to keep a nice soft edge along here, this tree line there. So that's not so far out actually. Let's put a little yellow there, soften that, try and get this smooth transition here, and we've got some wispy clouds there too, so let's do that. Put a few in there, and in here as well we've got some nice bright, they're catching the rising sun here, so let's get some titanium here, fairly thick, and put some elements in there. And the white, if I put a nice white element here, when I put the dark of the branches of this willow, that will emphasize that as well. Now we've got quite a nice bank of cloud here. Let's just see if I can do that. That's it. And I can also cut in to this darker bit there with a few bits of whiter cloud. A few little clouds in the distance there. Right. Okay, now let's leave that, although should I need a little bit lighter here? Yes, I think we can. Sun's coming up, so it's a little paler there. So I've got a little bit of yellow there. Yes, I think I'll leave that for the moment. Do I want a little bit lighter yellow in that river reflection though? I think I do, just down here. Yes, just a little bit. Right, okay. Let's get a little bit of, yeah, oh, dirty brush. Right, can leave that, I think. Have I got enough darks here? That's the thing. Right, let's clean the brush off and see if we can put some of these tree elements in now. That's what we need. So let's use one of my new brushes. Let's clear this one for the moment. We've got to go back and do some improvements on this, all these snow bits actually. Well, I've got a big brush, I think I'll do that. Well, I can. Yes. Try not to lose my cycle track there. Got to try and carve out more on this bank as well. I think I could put a few directional marks like that. It will suggest the slope of that bank. I think we need to do that. Come up around that tree. And actually we could put a little hint of green. So I think I'm going to do that right away. Well, I can just sort of hint of green in places here. Where the frost is not so thick there. So I've got some sap green here. I'm just touch it in really. It's the thing, I have to be very gentle sometimes with oil when it's sort of this wet on wet technique, as it were, because you've got to get it off your brush somehow. And I think could darken up some of this green in places. Down there, definitely, and along here. In fact, I think I'll put a bit of ultramarine with my green there, so I can darken up some of my green passages. Some green reflections here. Right, and then yes, down here our eyes coming in, yes, we've got to do, and out here that'll do it. This comes in a little bit as well here. Right, I can see some dark bits where I need. Under there, there's got to get on to do these trees, of course. There's a fallen one there. Should this be a bit darker? Yes, I think so. So using a bit of my Payne's grey, just touching it in there. I think this could be a bit taller and a bit darker. Here we go. So, right, have I got enough dark in here? And along that margin of that river, of course. We need to take our eye in there. Try and show its contours a little bit. Tree there, another one there. Right, let's get a smaller brush now and see if we can lay in some shape to these willow trees. Alright, let's leave that brush for the moment and then we'll come back. Now what's the skinny one I've got? Yes, there's this one, number 2. This is number 2 round. These new dollar roundy ones. It's the smallest one I think I got. So how are we going to do this? We need a fairly light touch, I think. So we're going to have to see how this goes. So I'm using some Payne's Grey, some umber, a little bit of ultramarine to make me a nice dark colour. I got it fairly yes, these are yes, that's, I think we can start to do some suggestions of the, but I think we have to be very gentle with this if we're going to make this work. Got little bits of suggestion of, I think we need a different brush here. I think I need to a dry brush here. Just want to kind of give a bit of a background. Now I'm going to get a very thin rigger brush, I think, and see how that will do it. Yes, where's the thinnest one? I need a little tiny brush. Oh, maybe this one. Yes, I think there's a lot of just using the edge of this. Little tiny one I need. Ah, yes. How about this? A little tiny sable one. Got a tiny little tip on it. I can get some. Will it come off? That's too much. I think this one needs to come out further here. need a still smaller brush. Let's have a look if I can find a much tinier. Actually, I've got a little fan here, a little tiny fan brush, which might give me some. Yes, that can do it. Yes, that can do it a little bit, I think. This one here is it just gives it a little soft edge to some of the margins. There's a bank of trees in the distance. If I use the side of it as well. Yes, starting to come together. I think I can bring it up a little bit as well. Right. Okay. Now I think I still need a liner of some sort. I've got to find one. Yes. Well, there is my finished painting. My battery died as usual, I'm afraid. So what I've done though is work on the trees, try and give some shape to them. They have this distinctive willow shape, but I put more texture in the foreground here. Used a bit of a palette knife actually, just to get a little bit of form, a little bit of snow, a little texture, and along this bank, reinforce this bank as well. It's got some of the grasses showing, and that fallen tree there, reshaped that. So at the end, of course, we've got the big root lump there. So, and I don't know if you can spot, there's somebody out here having an early morning walk. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. If you have, please give me a like and consider subscribing to the channel. That helps the channel grow, but it also lets you know when I do things as well. So well, I think this is a fenland scene, early morning. Beautiful photograph as my reference anyway, and I've drawn on it, of course, but not slavishly. I've added a few things and emphasize what I like, but my main objective was to try and capture this amazing sunrise with the golden colors there as the sunrise, a bit of yellow as it comes up, and we've got the reflections here of the bright yellowy golden sunrise. Anyway, thanks for watching.